What's going on, everyone? Forex Fargo checking in. Forex Fargo weekly webinar replay it's going to be our weekly Forex analysis recap from January 31st, 2021 through February 5th, 2021. Well over 350 pips caught. The pairs we're going to analyze, is always going to be AU, GU, GJ, gold, EU, UCAD, and then the dollar index, right? So let's go ahead and switch screens and let's see what we are looking at. Right, so once again, let's just start off with the dollar index. I always tell us to start with the macro, right? So looking at the macro, just going to the beginning of this week, right? So let's see, January, somewhere like right here, right? So what we were looking for, I was monitoring to see if price was going to push up to this daily resistance level. If you guys didn't watch the previous webinar, I was expressing the fact that there was going to be some dollar strength, right? So we did see some dollar strength. However, we also saw price respect a lot of these dailies, daily levels that have already been presently, respected, as well as the fact that, price did retrace back later on the week during NFP, right? So if we go ahead and press this play button, once again, these are all on daily time frames, right? I was looking to monitor to see how price was going to react right here, right? Wait for the next daily candle. On this next daily candle, right? So because we have a break and a retest on the daily, on the daily time frame, price is obviously going to go bullish to some point with this. Now, as price is going bullish on the dollar index, right? I can't pull this up simultaneously, but EU is also, on the downtrend, right? So what I'll do is I'll show you guys. Let me see real quick. How do we go ahead and add? I forgot how to overlay compare. Here we go, right? So we'll compare this real quick, right? And what we'll do is, actually, you can see that I don't need to change it to a bar chart, right? Or a candlestick, I mean. But on this line graph, you can see that this is reflective of EU, right? So since EU is, was respecting this, I think this level right here was like 120, either 121, 2200 or something like that, or like 124.50 or whatever. But regardless, this is what I mean when I tell people that we have this inverse correlation between EU and the dollar index, right? So get an EU off of our screen. Getting EU off of our screen, right? Let's press the play button. Once again, we had this nice daily break and retest. Price continues to push up, right? So price retest around. This is important, okay? And this is why I try to teach off the daily time frame, right? Because you have to practice your patience. All right, price knows no time. However, the best things that you can do is how I have marked over here is have, the bluey lips. You just have targeted areas in which you monitor price action to see, if price breaks out to the upside or if price is going to retrace, right? And once again, this is on the dollar index, but off of the daily time frame. So respectively, excuse me, let's go back real quick because this was Friday NFP. So I'd like to go back on this replay button real quick, right? So let's go back one, replay. All right, so I just want to stop it when we have that big push at like 91,500. Okay, so I'm going to stop it right here, right? Now we're going to look at the rest of the pairs, right? Because this is what I was looking at. So I was interested in a gold buy, I believe. I don't know if I spoke about it, but I was looking at a gold buy from 1824, whatever like that. That obviously fucking ended up being a loser, right? So, the first thing I did, I took a loss on gold, probably for like 20, 30 pips or whatever, probably like 45 pips collectively. And I know I entered a couple of times, right? But, regardless, that's what happened. Now, with this EU trade, right? On EU, I believe earlier in the week, I had sent a buy signal, right? So here, let me do this. Once again, we're on daily time frame. Let's do the replay button back here, right? So while I was monitoring price around this level, right? Hold on, let's press this play button one time. All right. Now, while price was up here on the lower time frames, I was looking to enter a buy position around this level to maybe, you know, see if liquidity was going to grab back up to this, you know, these kind of daily resistance level that I have marked up here. That did not happen, so I ended up taking a small loss on the buy position. You guys can see that in the Telegram group that I run. However, you know, following along with the analysis, you know, not only one here, right, but if I go ahead and show you guys on, it's probably not on this one. I have another chart marked where when price was supposed to, you know, break right here, it was going to fall back down. So I have that marked somewhere. However, you know, without even having the short position, you know, once again, just having these blue ellipse and just having the arrows and, you know, giving you an idea and sense of which way direction could potentially go, you know, I was able to capitalize the sells for maybe 50 pips. When price got back down here, I definitely took a buy position and was able to catch this back up to, you know, this is now not marked as 4-hour daily support, but this is now 4-hour, you know, resistance. And a daily 4-hour resistance and a daily resistance level. So let's go ahead and press the play button so you guys can follow along. Once again, these are all on the daily time frames, right? So that first signal that I had sent, right, you know, just trying to give people pips, whatever like that. Once again, we took a small loss, right? But if we just followed along with the analysis, you know, like this is the main analysis that I'm looking at. When prices trading between these levels, these are where I prefer. This is why you see my, you know, targets marked at these levels and stuff like that. Other than that, these ones I prefer not to trade off of the smaller time frames. I've had largest success in my trading career just trading off of the higher time frames, right? And executing off of the smaller time frames. So we can see, you know, on the daily time frame, price is doing this thing. Now this right here, not going to lie, because price gave me this little doji right here, right? You know, I would have felt comfortable entering a buy position. However, if we were to drop down to the smaller time frames, what you see right here, you do see exhaustion, right? So you do see two small dojis, but you have to understand that the overall pattern is bearish, right? So, you know, you look at this 4-hour, it's a 4-hour time frame. Now you look at this beautiful 4-hour fucking, you know, bearish candle. You got the retracement on the 4-hour level, but the 4-hour is literally just flirting with this now broken as, you know, daily resistance, 4-hour resistance. So once again, you know, if you guys are new to trading or if you are looking to have, you know, better success with trading, all you have to do is just, you know, wait for, you know, price to get to your for your targeted areas. If that doesn't necessarily happen, you know, don't fret, don't be concerned about chasing the market. The market's going to present you the same opportunities, right? So, you know, for those people that missed sell opportunities throughout the entire week, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and look at this. This is February 4th. We'll go back to our dollar index right here, right? So on February 4th, right, around the same point, our dollar index was trading around, you know, 91, you know, 500, something like that or so. We're looking at some exhaustion, right? So if you look at the exhaustion on this, exhaustion on that, right, and on the 4-hour time frame, you look at the exhaustion that you're having, you know, within here, it would be a safe buy to assume that if the dollar index, and once again, you're just looking for a small retracement. So at this point, this daily resistance level, once we broke this on the higher time frame on the 4-hour or, you know, the daily, which it broke on both, right, we changed this to our daily support. So let's go ahead and change this, right? So this is no longer daily resistance. This is our daily support level, right? Now, because price has found its way during NFP and, you know, it's not even that price moved like that during NFP. Price was already going to move like that. You know, we found exhaustion over here, and then price just happened to, you know, it's no coincidence. Price just happened to respect daily support. But like I was saying, back onto EU, you know, if we're able to place pieces together, right? So looking at this from my 4-hour daily, support level that I had marked, which is now resistance, to the December 2020 low, that is 89 pips, right? Now, if I was to enter this, or if you were to enter this position, right, you could enter this with a fucking 10 pip stop loss if you want to, and then have a, you know, 80 pip reward. That's 1 to 8. You know, a lot of people don't necessarily catch those. You can catch your 5 pip stop losses with, you know, your 40 pip wins or whatever, and it looks good for IG. It looks good for the trading and stuff like that. But just realistically, you know, I'm not throwing shade to anyone. It's just things work differently for people. So now that we have some you know, we see that price has pushed all the way back up to this, you know, 4-hour daily resistance level now, right? Now what we can assume, actually we're not going to go into that, we're just going to look at the pairs, right? So, you know, caught about 80 something pips on this or whatever like that, going to AU, right? So, you know, if we're going to look at AU from the beginning of the week, this may seem redundant, but this is what makes you better overall. And I've already done this. For some odd reason, the Zoom did not work. So hopefully I'm recording this YouTube live and you guys can just watch the replay if you choose to. All right, so let's go ahead. Pause this on. All right, so beginning of the week or so, right? So beginning of the week, we can see, actually that's January. We're looking for January 31st. Right, well, whatever. I was looking for price to push all the way back up to this 76,960 level, right? Now, although price did not push all the way back up there, what happened is price did seem to, you know, find its level and its way marked at this 76, you know, 500 level. I didn't necessarily catch like all of these sells or whatever, but I was monitoring and was looking for the buy, right? So what we'll do is, in my trading nowadays, I've been trading less, and you know, I've been more content with the wins and the losses and just trying to focus on other things, because if you just try to focus too much on trading, it does become stressful. And it's not that just trading is stressful on my end. I've eliminated the stress of trading by not allowing myself to, you know, over trade and not be in front of the computer as much, and just, you know, set alerts and wait to see when price gets to where it needs to be, right? So moving on, I was looking for this. This is important, right? I was looking for this buy position on one of these days. This could probably move it over or something like that. But, you know, what had happened was I ended up getting stopped out. Price worked all the way back down to this 75 level. This is actually a December low, right? So the same way that I have it marked on EU, right? This December, you know, 2020 low, right? Price actually worked all the way down to, you know, the low of, you know, just a December low. And what had happened, this is the second, this is the third, the fourth, right? You know, I think it was this one right here, got worked out. And then what happened was all this liquidity that was, you know, hanging around this 75, 850, 76 level, it just ended up, you know, pushing up. Now price pushed all the way back up to, you know, where I was expecting it to. Because if we look at this from not just the 4-hour time frame, but if we look at it from, you know, where I have my levels marked in between here. So it's just, I'm looking to see how price is going to react, and now I'm looking to see if I can catch it back to the downside, but that will be for the webinar for next week. We're just doing a recap, right? So I lost some pips on gold, caught some pips on AU. I didn't go over the fact that on this gold thing right here, right? Now you see how I have it marked. I caught gold for about 100 pips. You know, once again, I'm not really into the charts. It doesn't matter. But when price got to this I think there was 1 hour candle where price boomed from like fucking 1800 to like 1810. I caught that and I was just content with that. So, you know, overall, just understanding what it is that you're looking for could really make a difference, right? So now GU is actually interesting and important, right? So this is what I was looking at last week. Let's just go ahead and once again do this from the macro. So we'll look at February. We'll just do the replay from like February 1st, right? So do it from right here, right? Now, I've been saying the fact that, you know, look at all this exhaustion that you have. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now you're about to have like almost a 7th and 8th rejection around this level right here. These are weekly high levels that have yet to be broken, right? So what's going to happen is we're going to press the play button, right? I caught a lot of this fucking move to the downside. Caught like well over 100 pips on this one. You can see price literally respected this weekly level and came all the way back down to this other weekly level down over here, right? You know, all I have is fucking simple lines on my chart and nothing more than that, right? So between these two lines right here, yeah, I think it's 150 pips. Yeah, exactly. You know, so I caught about 125 or so, but you know, I know that when price was getting down here, I was just looking left, like, all right, these are exhaustion. So like, I feel comfortable just, you know, keeping that there. Now moving to the 4-hour time frame, right? This is actually kind of what happened. This isn't a December low, is it, right? But this is a January level that was respected. So price literally worked all the way back down here before moving up on NFP, which is Friday. So this is actually what had happened on Friday. And it's important, right? Because this happened Friday. Wait, actually, no. This is Thursday. Excuse me. It's Thursday. Thursday was GBP news or something like that, right? So, what happened with that is when you have this news event come out, right? Because there's so much volatility and, when price is respecting these levels, and if you were to look left, you can see that regardless, this is why I keep my charts the same. If I have this over here, if I have a buy position that I've already, or a long that I've already been interested in, I've already taken in the past, and I see that price is just respecting this level or has returned to this level, then 7 out of 10 times I'm going to monitor price action, see if I can execute the same way, right? So this is why I tell people, and why you see traders, you see some traders keep their charts like that. Now what I'll probably be looking for is if price is going to push up here one more time. Now we'll probably get a big push to this 135 level, or maybe not. We may get all the way back down to this 136, but that's still 100 and something pips. Press and play, right? Now we're on a 4-hour time frame now. Price is moving up, and price once again finds its exhaustion around here, right? This is Friday for NFP, and that's what happened on GU, right? So that's on GU. GJ, right? GJ was actually tricky, at least for me, but if I'm just being honest, right? So excuse me, on GJ, I was expecting price once again to find exhaustion. So this is what happened on a daily time frame. Price is looking for the exhaustion, or we find the exhaustion on the day on the monthly or weekly high level that we have, right? But then I want to drop that down to a 4-hour time frame and just kind of get us to understand what happened here, right? So when you have your zones and you have your levels marked, it's important to actually monitor how price action reacts within it, right? So, if you were to take a sell right here, that wouldn't necessarily be a good example, right? One, on a 4-hour time frame, there's indecision within the zone, which probably means it's going to boom up. That's a 4-hour time frame, right? On a 2-hour time frame, right? A 2-hour time frame, you can see that that 4-hour candle is representative of these two right here, which is a doji, and then you call that kind of an inverted hammer, right? This is on a 2-hour time frame. On a 1-hour time frame, you get a little bit more. You get 4 almost dojis, spinning tops, spinning bottoms, whatever you want. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 hours where price is literally flirting. Yeah, I want to actually do this correctly because I know that not this many people watch my stuff, but if you actually just decipher between some of the broken things that I do say. So yeah, so for let's call it 5 hours. So for 4.5 hours or so like that, price is flirting between 25 pips or whatever, right? So if you see the price is at 142,900, right, and you see you have all these rejections down here, you literally could set a 10 pip stop loss, which on GJ is super fucking rare. You know what I mean? I know that some people have like better executions than others, right? But if you were to do this on this 1-hour candle, which this is when the GBP news came out at 7 a.m. or whatever like that, you could have been able to capitalize. You could have caught your 25 pips or whatever like that in probably like a minute, but because price pushed up so fast, you would have ended up catching anywhere between 50 to 75 pips. And then this goes back to correlating to one of my other videos, how to increase your scalp positions from 15 to 20 pips, 10 to 15 pips to 50 to 75 pips. What's going to make you better is looking at what's going to make you better is just looking at your charts from the larger time frames and just having less, because I'm telling you less is more, right? So I know at some point price is going to be exhausted on this. I know. I don't need to ask. I don't need to check, right? Now what we'll do is we'll check the last one real quick, and on the last pair that we were looking at was UCAD, right? So just going back on this replay button, let's do this, right? So was looking for the buy when price got back down here to the upside. I'll just follow along and see what happens. I was just flirting with UCAD and not necessarily doing like following along with the pairs I was really interested in: GU, GJ, EU, and AU and gold. You know what I mean? UCAD. I just follow along with it. So yeah, so from here, I know price didn't necessarily work on, last week I wasn't able to catch this buy position for right here, but just following along with the trade. I'm looking, waiting to see is how price is getting exhausted around here, right? So on another one, what happened on this daily time frame right here, I was able to capitalize, I think 50 pips. I didn't enter over there. I entered when price got back down around here. So yeah, probably capitalize that for like 50, 60 pips or whatever like that. And this is on UCAD, and I felt comfortable saying that because like I know that I didn't know what was gonna happen when price was gonna be right here. So that's kind of like gray area-ish for me, right? So what ends up happening, right? We get this spinning top, price ends up pushing back up, right? And then what happens when we get the push up, right? If you want to, you can draw a trend line. This would actually probably be like a third bounce, depending on how you draw your trend line. It'd probably be more accurate on the 4-hour time frame. However, once you get price retracing to, if you want to draw your little Fibonacci thing real quick, I'm actually not going to do that. But if you were to draw a fib, that's probably like, somewhere over here on this recline. This right here is probably like 61% or 68, something like that, right? But regardless, people have the different ways of trading. I don't need all of that. So yeah, right now, as we can see, actually, let me do the recap again. So just on the pairs that, I was trading, right? So once again, I don't care if you guys believe me or not. I'm not in for that. I'm not here doing that for you. I'm actually just trying to educate people. I do have the mentorship going, but it's been what to say, up and down. I sent 4 trades. One of them has been a winner. 3 of them has been a loss. But like I haven't been able to do it the way that I wanted to. So I don't know if I'm gonna just keep charging people, if I'm just gonna, keep doing things for free and just helping people. So regardless, it'll come in the back end. But yeah, so let's see. Pips caught, right? So took a loss on gold. We'll call that 45 pips. Right? And then a win on gold. That was for about 100 pips. EURUSD plus 85 pips. Then I also lost. Probably about 30 pips. Right? GBPUSD. 125 pips on the short, about 55 pips on the long. GUN. We're at like, I think, what is it? Call it like 65 pips. Just to the average. Alright. So yeah, so this is pretty much how my week went. And then I caught AU or something like that. Yeah. AUUSD. 55 pips, and then that UCAD for 55 pips. And like I tell people, the reason why you see a lot of the consistent 50 to 75 pips is because that's usually my bread and butter, right? So like, just going back to what's worked for me when I first started seeing profitability and not trying to chase the dollar and everything, just take what the market gives you and just understand that, the price gets back to where you want it to, just do it like that, right? So let's start off with this negative 45 pips. 185 minus 30 plus 125 plus 55 plus 65 plus 55 plus 55, right? So the actual modest like plus 400 pips, which is actually what I did end up writing in the title of this, right? So once again, it is possible. Just stick to it. The high time frame analysis and then the low time frame executions is actually what's going to work the best for you and work in the long run, right? So Forex Fargo checking out. And I'll catch you guys on the webinar, which I will be uploading tomorrow, February 7th, around like 12 p.m. or so. All right.